Hello guys, I am back with a new video. Unfortunately, my last two I uploaded weren't good quality. I was attempting to use a new recorder, and it didn't come out the way I had hoped at all. So we're doing this again. I'm gonna be playing Minecraft, as you can see, and I wanted to talk about one of the mods that are in this. So. Well, I recently downloaded the original Minecraft, the Java version, and one of the mods is known as SGcraft, which is based off of a TV show from the late 90s to early mid 2000s called Stargate SG-1. Now, the basis behind this show was there was a group of really, really old humans known as the Ancients who created rings that would allow you to travel to distant planets in the same galaxy and other galaxies, provided you had enough power. And there were 12 teams. These were known as SG teams. The basis of the story revolves around the first team, known as SG-1, and the show took place in Colorado in Cheyenne Mountain Complex. And the stars of the show was Don S. Davis as the General, Richard Dean Anderson as Colonel Jack O'Neill, Amanda Tapping as Captain Samantha Carter, Michael Shanks as Dr. Daniel Jackson, and Christopher Judge as an alien known as Teal'c. Well, these guys would travel through this ring, which basically allowed them to create a stable wormhole through subspace to other planets, allowing near instantaneous travel. Along the way, they met a race of aliens called the Goa'uld, which were basically parasites that would infest a human and take them over, and basically they thought themselves as gods. Well, eventually humans on Earth got fed up with it and decided, you know what, we're going to rebel. We're going to defeat them. And that's what the entire show is about, is them trying to defeat them. Another spin-off of the show is known as Stargate Atlantis, where a group of, I believe, 50 people travels to the Pegasus galaxy and takes place on Stargate Atlantis. Anyways, I'm here today to show you just what the mod is. And so, here we go. First thing you wanted to do is create a 1x5 indent. First, you'd place your base, a ring block on either side, and then a chevron block on the other side of those. Then, you'd go up with a ring block, a chevron block, another ring block, another chevron block, and then across the top it'd be the same thing. And it would render it to look like that. Now, there's these things. They're called dial-home devices. You need them in order to go home. It looks like this. Each one of these symbols corresponds to a symbol on the inner gate ring, and represents a point in space, technically. One being the y-axis, one being the z-axis, one being the x-axis, and then your point of origin, which would be the final chevron. Now, in order for these to run, you needed fuel. Which is a Stargate element known as Naquita. Now that you have that, and you have that, you can come over here, right-click on the base, and you can add a camouflage, which would essentially bury it into the ground so it would stand on its own. Then, what you'd do is if you have your configurator, you can change it. Allow redstone output or allow redstone input. Use your DHD as a fuel source. Event horizon transparency. I always unclick that in the redstone. Transient damage. When wormhole opens means that when it opens, there will be this rush. And anything in the rush, which is about 3 blocks, will be destroyed. Humans, players, blocks, you name it. Return to previous iris state. Chevrons lock when dialed. No input power required. Preserve inventory on iris death. Close from either end. Reverse wormhole kills. Pegasus gate type. Chevron upgrade, which would allow you to travel to other dimensions. The Twilight Forest, the End, the Nether. The iris upgrade, which would prevent enemies from coming through if it's open. It's also a good way to keep up security if, let's say, you want to play a prank on someone and you just want them to die. They try and come through, you close your iris, and they'll be dead instantly. One-way travel only means you can only travel one way while it's active. Let's save that, and this is what it looks like in the Milky Way form. This is what it looks like in the Stargate Atlantis form. Let's change it back. If you have your personal dialer device, you can add the address, which is right there for the specific gate, into it. Say whatever you want, blah, 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 name it, whatever. Type the address here. You have to type it as it looks into the address. There's that way you can dial, or you can use the DHD. For Stargates, for wormholes that exist in the same dimensions, let's say you're going from like a desert biome clear over to home or home base, you only need 7. Only 7 symbols. If you're going from, say, normal dimension to the Twilight Forest to the End to the Nether, you need all 9. It helps to memorize them if you don't have your personal dialer device or the PDD. Now, there's 4 forms of dialing. You can click each one if you want, or you can just type it. Your point of origin, which in the show would be the Stargate you're coming from. And this is just a little bit. There's your blast that will destroy everything. Make sure the iris is open with your garage door opener controller. Opened iris. Then just go through. Now, say I try and go back. I want to go back. Cannot travel backwards through one-way wormhole. This is how it is in the show, and for appearance's sake, I like to keep it the same way. You can disconnect it. Now let's go back over there. Just for the sake of not having to jump up and go back, we're gonna add this into our personal dialer device. Let's name it tutorial. And like I said, you have to add it in the form as it is up there in the corner. Save it. Close. Okay, so that's one form of dialing. You can use that. The other form of dialing is like this, with the personal dialer device. It does the same thing. It spins. It takes a little while, but it just uses the personal dialer device. Now there's this way. If you click Chevron's lock when dialed and save it, go over here, redial it, or you can use your personal dialer device. It's different for each one. Another way you can disconnect is by clicking the red circle, sorry. You can dial it like this. You'll die, no matter what. That's another way. Now, this dial sequence, just because why not? Chevron's lock. Now, let's dial out, shall we? If you can see, the chevrons change to blue, the rings change to black, and this changes to blue. You cannot use the configurator to deactivate a wormhole. You can use the GDO, or you can use the personal dialer device, or like I said, you can use the DHD. Chevron's lock when dialed. That about does it for the Stargate thing. I will upload another video at some point or another that will be Stargate combined with other mods that I have installed. For example, the Twilight Forest or Twilight Forest, Minecraft Comes Alive, Open Computers, and Industrial Craft, all of which have their own creators and everything. I will be uploading a survival video on that some point or another. Unfortunately, I have to get ready and start getting ready to go into my actual job. In any case, I will talk to you guys later, and see you on the next one.